Guys, my voice is pretty deep today. Yeah, now it's pretty fine. Oh, I spitted on my screen, I think. Oh, sorry guys. Ooh, sheesh, bro. So guys, welcome to another stream, guys. Yeah, that. Yeah. So guys, welcome to another stream. Uh, Today we're gonna talk about philosophy. So guys, I'm gonna firstly talk about what I know about philosophy. And wait a minute, actually, I can just hear my neighbor screaming. So that's pretty weird too. Actually, and neighbors are like literally screaming right now, and I have to like scream while screaming. So it's pretty weird because they're gonna judge me. Although I don't care about it that much, but still, guys, guys. So to be honest, I haven't read any much philosophy at all. Okay, I haven't read any philosophy at all. I know a little bit about philosophy. That's really negligible, to be honest. Yeah, that's negligible, to be honest. But philosophy, I'm gonna just search it. Uh, yeah. Okay, guys. So, guys, basically, what I know about philosophy is thinking about something so much that you can reach the bare minimum truths about that thing. Right? That's philosophy. Thinking about something in such a deep level, questioning it at such a deep level that you reach the truth, basic fundamentals, back to the basics. That's called philosophy. The real truths of life, of culture, of work, of politics, like everything. That's so much deep thought that it comes to the basic principles, basic laws, basic truths is philosophy. That's my definition of it. I actually don't know what's the real definition, but that's what I'm gonna, abide by. So, I think that philosophy is really important to be read by teenagers, and there is a really interesting reason behind it. Of course, getting back to the truth allows you to generate more, to be honest. You understand in the point. For example, uh, I have to touch my finger to my palm, like middle of my palm. So what I can rather do is the normal method about it is we are gonna do this, and we're touching our palm. Right, that's the normal method. I think I'm making it too much confusing, but to be honest, let me just try to explain it. But if you come to the basics, the thing is any finger be touched to any palm. So you can just do this, and you are touching your palm with your finger. Not this, but this. Not this, but this. This is the power of philosophy, right? And you all you all will be like, wait a minute, guys. So to be honest, I'm an Indian. I'm a student. I'm trying to learn English and be kind of fluent with it. So that's why my English is pretty broken and not that clear. But I'm trying to improve my English by focusing on my words, my grammatical mistakes, my pronunciation, and all, even my accent a little bit. So yeah. So the thing is, stream like one of the previous streams. What do I say? Uh, What do I say three before in English? Let me just search about it. Three before in English. What do I call one day before? Uh, Easter day. Easter day. Okay. I don't actually know, to be honest. Okay. But the thing is, uh, you should read philosophy. So that, okay, please ignore that was actually Diwali is a festival in India which is going on right now, and we burst crackers to celebrate it. Although I don't burst crackers because I'm against the pollution, and that's another topic for discussion that I'm gonna touch today. Maybe I just remember to talk about it, so it's pretty fun. But uh, yes, I was talking about philosophy. So the thing is, when you come to these basics, you can innovate here. First principle thinking is something that is like promoted by even Elon Musk. Like, you know, Elon Musk even says that first principle thinking is something that you should prefer to come to the basics, to come to the uniqueness, to come to innovativeness. So first principle thinking or philosophy, that what I equate. Is it even the thing? Is first principle thinking philosophy? Philosophy. See guys, Elon Musk and power of thinking. Uh, okay, guys, here we are. Technique requires breakdown of complex problems into the most fitting fundamental elements. And what is philosophy? Philosophy. Philosophy. Beliefs and ideas. Explain the meaning. General fundamental. See, guys, here's all the fundamental, basic unit, the fundamental thinking. You know, guys. So yeah, it's one of the same thing. Let's then to read it. Just don't. What I just did was skimming through the definition to find the word which I was focusing on. That was fundamental, and that's a bias. So I'm not gonna be biased about it. And this is the reason why you should learn psychology. You should read it so that you can be aware of your biases. That where are you logically making mistakes? For example, when I was talking about fundamentals, I was focusing on the word fundamental, so I just forgot about the rest of the definition and just focused on this word, and that's why it's bad, to be honest. So a systemized study of general fundamentals such as those about existence, reason, knowledge, values, mind, and language. Such questions often pose problems studied to be or resort. True. So that's the reason. That's the basic thing. So that's why I think we should study philosophy. And you know, guys, I have a really nice story about it. So what happened is, I don't remember when I turned smart. Okay, this feels really weird to say. I don't remember when I turned smart. And in smart, in the context of being smart, I don't want to say that I am smart. I am maybe the dumbest people you will ever meet. But in comparison to the normal age group of mine, or which I take in particularly my class, like in my school, I am comparatively smarter. I'm not bragging about it. I'm not being narcissist about it. That's what my teachers say. That's what she said. That's what she said, guys. Actually, I'm 14 right now. So yeah. So what is this? The thing is, uh, just after lockdown, I started going to school, and I knew a little bit about self-help at the point of time. I didn't want it to be an entrepreneur at that point of time. I just was reading some kind of self-help. So I used to go to school and come back, read a little, and study for my exams. But as time passed by, I really enjoyed people's compliments when they appreciated me for being smart. Like whenever I used to talk about any psychology, philosophy, self-help things and all that, because at the crux of it, at the fundamentals of it, self-help is actually maybe psychology, but with some practical aspects to it, so that you only prefer the practical version of psychology and not the theoretical version. Just like if you if you know about applied chemistry, it's a branch of chemistry where you only deal with practical aspects. Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening. Oh my god, I just ate a sandwich a few minutes before starting the stream, so I think that's the reason why it's happening, but I'm not pretty sure why is that happening. So the thing is, I really used to enjoy these things, and in self-help learning about self-help and all, which I am now a critic about self-help. I learned that we should question a lot. We should really question a lot. Question everything and anything. Questioning makes you smarter. That's the thing. If you just question your beliefs, you become smarter. You are not aware. You are away from your heuristics and biases. That's the basic thing of it. And even questioning leads to different answers. There's a quote I read in a book called Limitless. Maybe the quote is from someone else, but the author used it as an example, which I'm just passing on right now. So the quote was, "The one who knows the questions will always get to the answers." Like no, something like that. That was actually, let me reframe it. That was something like, the one who has the questions will always get the answers. Because when you question something, you always spot that answer. Just a few minutes ago, for example, when I was talking about first principle thinking or the fundamental thinking, I wanted to question what is philosophy and compare it. Because I knew the question about philosophy and the relation to it with first principle and fundamentals, I quickly found out the word fundamental in their definition, because I was focusing on it, because I questioned it. That's the power of questioning. So I really learned about questioning a lot, because questioning a lot really helps you, and that's what I wanted to tell. That reading philosophy teaches you how to question, and that's why I'm gonna even read philosophy from now on. So the thing is, I think I'm repeating the word to be the thing is. Earlier I used to repeat the filler word to be honest, and now I'm repeating the word the thing is. Like, I am really using filler words and not taking pauses. So I was really appreciated when I used to question in my classes. Once a while I was just browsing on YouTube all this self-help content, because it's totally really addictive, and you don't even realize it. It's just equivalent to action faking, where you feel like you are doing an action, you are taking action, but you are not taking an action. So that's a toxic thing about self-help, and that's why I really criticize self-help. Like, everything has some positive and negative aspects, to be honest. But self-help makes you vulnerable. Vulnerable. Sorry guys, my pronunciation. Vulnerable. Yeah. Self-help makes you vulnerable, and that's one of its dark sides. So when I was appreciated while skimming through YouTube and self-help content, I pulled upon a video. I stepped upon a video. Maybe that's what we say. I stepped on a video which titled "How to Think Like Elon Musk Really Fast," and there I got to know about first principles thinking, which I later got to know that it's equivalent to philosophy. So guys, I am now really appreciated in my soul, because I use this philosophy of first principle thinking, just questioning everything. once what was happening was we were being taught about laws of reflection and all that, lie, incident ray, reflective ray, normal lie on the same plane. So I was just questioning, what is plane? What is light? What is all this? I don't know. And when you reach that fundamental truths, you come to know a lot of knowledge that you once ignored. I was even reading a book, Think Like a Freak, and in that book it was even told that the most hardest words to say are I don't know. The one who can say I don't know is the one who will find the new answers. The one who will get the new answers, will get the new knowledge, will get the new decisions. To be honest, like, the knowledge makes you wiser and make better decisions, so it helps you. Being that said, we're gonna react to some philosophy, and philosophy I think is really important because it gives you perspectives as well. First of all, it makes you really innovative and questionable, and not questionable, you are more a person who questions a lot, which is actually a really good thing. Also, it gives you new perspectives about everything you see, and having a perspective to fall back on is really helpful in the situation where you can get off guard. For example, I was reading a book. I don't know why I quote these books a lot, because actually I read a lot. I was reading a book, the rudest book ever. Sorry, I just forgot my handkerchief. That's pretty gross and embarrassing, to be honest, but yeah. I was reading that book and I stumbled upon a perspective of people are weird. That's what he said. People are weird. When you have this perspective, you neither, because weird is neither a really positive nor a negative thing. You aren't blindly trusting on people. You aren't being super skeptical about them. So you are actually at a good spot when you think about people are weird. Also, when you get hurt or rejected, you can fall back on the opinion or the perspective that people are weird. You can't just judge anyone, and you can even question your first impressions by thinking people are weird. You don't know what's the real data is, how the person really is. Maybe the person is just appearing to be perfect, but he or she isn't perfect. So that's a perspective I really liked. I applied it and it's pretty cool. That also helped me a lot. So yeah, philosophy has really been a good thing. To be honest. Why do I use this word to be honest a lot? I don't know. I also said that we are gonna talk about the idea of burning crackers and pollution. I thought about this, that we're polluting our environment actually every day. From scooters to vehicles, factories, burning plastic, burning waste, landfills, like everything is getting polluted. We will just restrain ourselves to air. And my friend was also talking to me about that. Electric vehicles, as per his point of view, that I'm just gonna put it on you guys to think about it. And I that wasn't backed by data, to be honest, like real data, but it felt reasonable. Like the perspective that my friend gave felt logical. The perspective he gave was, while making these batteries, while producing energy for these electric cars, you are gonna use more resources which are even difficult to dispose. So in the end, you are also wasting resources. Then it doesn't properly solve the problem of depletion of resources, air pollution and all. Because disposing the battery, burning it, producing water using producing electricity by coal, or coal also like gives out a lot of carbon dioxide. Using water resources isn't a thing because it's not that popular in India. Maybe it is, but for that my friend told that you have to make more dams, which can slow down the flow of water, which can slow down the speed of rotation of earth. That he went to totally really extreme, but that's what he said. So I really understand his point of view, that We are talking about pollution all day, but actually electric vehicles are also not gonna solve the problem of pollution. It's still gonna linger about. So the thing is, should you don't buy these electric vehicles, but if you stop doing that, the problem still remains and it's just gonna get compounded every year. So we are at a bad spot. Launching electric vehicles and promoting them can also lead to pollution, and not doing anything is will definitely lead to pollution. I don't know the data that what's worse, but the thing seems reasonable. What will you do then? Because you're gonna adapt to electric vehicles, then just throw them away when you find out that they are also causing pollution. That's not pretty good thing, to be honest. And if we talk about Diwali and crackers, it's not that crackers don't contribute to air pollution, they really do. But when we burst crackers on weddings, anniversaries, parties, on special occasions, when we are using a lot of vehicles, burning a lot of stuff, then we don't talk about this pollution thing, but only a small contributor. Okay, it's a contributor, but not an extreme level that 50% of the pollution is due to just Diwali. Okay, something is better than nothing, I understand, but we should take steps for that too. Maybe we are taking those steps, but those steps are promoting electricity, and this promotion of electricity will also lead to more pollution. Pollution isn't a really simple thing that we assume it to be to talk about. That's also pretty interesting, to be honest, guys. And now we're gonna react to some philosophy of stoicism. I have heard about this philosophy that it's about not showing your emotions at all. So now we're gonna react to this. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay. It's TED education. TED is the full form of TED is technology, engineering, and design, and it's really good. You guys would already be knowing about it, of course. Why am I even telling you this? The channel has over 36 million subs, to be honest. Like, this channel has 17 million, but the real TED channel has more, to be honest. Let me just show you guys still, because why not? TEDx has 36 million. TEDx has 36 million, guys, and TED has 22 million. So yeah, let's go. So the main difference between TED and TEDx is TEDx is the talks that are organized by a third party or someone else, and TED are the TEDx talks, and the TED talks are the talks which are organized officially by the TED. TEDx is more like a franchisee. Both are official, but that's the main difference.
You've been stranded thousands of miles from home with no money or possessions. Such a predicament would make many people despair and curse their awful fate. But for Zeno of Cyprus, it became the foundation of his life's work and legacy. The once wealthy merchant lost everything when he was shipwrecked in Athens around 300 BCE. With not much else to do, he wandered into a bookshop, became intrigued by reading about Socrates, and proceeded to seek out and study with the city's noted philosophers. As Zeno began educating his own students, he originated the philosophy known as Stoicism, whose teachings of virtue, tolerance, and
virtue, tolerance, and self-control. But guys, I even read about this thing that self-control is equivalent to effortful thinking. Self-control requires thinking, and guys, we talk about that eating sweets improve our mood. You know why? Effortful thinking leads to drain of glucose. When you think really effortfully, you drain a lot of glucose, you drain a lot of energy, which leads to deficiency of glucose. Not that deficiency, but it's in a lower amount. It's in a deteriorated state, to be honest. So the thing is, when you eat sugary sweets or sugary things like food items, you regain that glucose, which leads you to more energy, which improves your mood. Guys, that's pretty cool. And another reason why dieting is difficult. Okay, I didn't find it difficult, to be honest, at the first place, but it's told that dieting is difficult, and the reason behind this is self-control requires energy. You get energy by eating food, and the main thing about dieting is not eating food, or maybe eating less food, so that you burn your fat. you know keto ketosis, to be honest, that's a scientific term. I heard about it, or I was taught about it in my science class. So guys, isn't it difficult that the thing that's providing the energy to do a certain work, and that work is to prevent that thing, so that cycle repeats and the graph just goes down. That's pretty interesting, and I don't know the meaning of virtue. Maybe that's shameful, but high moral or standards. Okay, that means having higher standards. Okay, and
Control
being a high class person,
have
superior person. I understand.
inspired generations of thinkers and leaders.
Yeah, generous.
The name Stoicism comes from the Stoa Poikile, the decorated public colonnade where Zeno and his disciples gathered for discussion.
Okay.
Today, we colloquially use the word stoic to mean someone who remains calm under pressure.
Okay, I am that person who remains calm under pressure. Maybe I am that person, I don't know, but guys, I am a really emotional and an unemotional person. I don't know. There are many times I just regain my emotions for nothing, just because of overthinking or just thinking about something not that great to be thought about, or just looking at the negative side. And sometimes I'm just so calm when the situation is terrible that no one can believe it, that why am I so calm. But now gradually I am gaining a lot, and a lot means a hell lot of control on my emotions. Like emotions are really regulated right now, so that's pretty good. I think, yeah, it's good. I'm getting that control over my emotions. They're not just lingering about everywhere, they're in controlled position, so that's pretty good.
And avoids emotional extremes.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because guys, there is a philosophy or a perspective I read about, that the person who really hates about being disrespected or being hated is the person who really loves to be appreciated. For example, I am just copying the same body language that Shwetab Gangur, the writer of the book, the rudest book ever, used in his video. I was watching that video because I used to be one of those persons that one here you are a person. When you get really, this is the appreciation, when you get really appreciated a lot and you enjoy it, the moment someone stabs your back by hating you, you fall down more than you felt good. So when you are being appreciated, you don't feel happy, you talk to yourself and lower your happiness level, that no, it's normal, you haven't really achieved a thing right now. When someone hates you and you tend to go down, your self-talk can lift you up again. So that's a thing. And also that happens with dopamine. Having detox about dopamine also works. That, for example, if you always do interesting tasks, really interesting tasks here, once you get a boring task, you're gonna be so much or less interesting task, you will be getting very much bored. But if you take time in your day to practice boredom, you just sit here, sit idle, being bored as much as you want, losing that dopamine as much as you want. You're not at all feeling that pleasurable. At the same time, when you even get a slightly interesting task, you get really happy with it. You will do it. So isn't it better if you like want to stop an addiction or like want to concentrate in studies or take interest in studies? Just sit idle for a moment. Don't do anything. Especially throw your phone out. Not literally throw, like keep it in the room. You're gonna enjoy studying after a while. When you are bored, you will be rather studying than being bored. That's the thing.
But while this captures important aspects of Stoicism's emotional extremes, the original philosophy was more than just an attitude.
Oh,
The Stoics believed that everything around us operates according to a web of cause and effect,
oh,
resulting in a rational structure of the universe, which they called logos.
no, course. Oh,
And while we may not always have control over the events affecting us, we can have control over how we approach things. Rather than imagining an ideal society, the Stoic tries to deal with the world as it is, while pursuing self-improvement through 4 cardinal virtues. Practical wisdom, the ability to navigate complex situations in a logical, informed, and calm manner.
done.
Temperance, the exercise of self-restraint and moderation in all aspects of life.
Oh,
Justice, treating others with fairness even when they have done wrong. And courage, not just in extraordinary circumstances, but facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity.
oh, interesting. Oh, that thing hit me. Temperance is basically self-control. Justice is not what I feel forming baseless assumptions, and courage is integrity, and wisdom is knowledge. So having practicing self-control, not judging people, staying to your beliefs, values, core values, and improving yourself is the teaching of stoicism. And to be honest, maybe I'm not that integral person. Like if you think about my definition of integrity, it's a lot like harsh. I am an integral person. If we take the standards of an average person, I am really integral as comparison to a standard person. But to the point I want to reach, I'm not at all at that point where I want to reach. For example, if a normal person lies there, I lie here, but I want to reach here. So that's the thing, because I believe rote learning isn't good for the brain. It's not good because it kills your curiosity, your understanding, and all. But it's not that bad because I just searched about it in Google because I really wanted to know that is rote learning really that bad or it's just a fake information. You know what I found out was rote learning is actually good for your short-term memory but bad for your long-term memory. So if you want to have a good short-term memory to like have a bigger attention space to like cram all your data here and think about it at the same time, you should practice rote learning. That's what I'm gonna do in future streams as well. Practice like memorizing an article or so from a blog or so. But if you want to improve your long-term memory, you should focus more on understanding concept and connecting dots, and that's what I also practice, so it's a pretty good thing. So that's one of my beliefs, that you shouldn't like go to school and just rote learn and don't try to improve yourself and all, because guys, I failed in my social science exam and I was told by my teacher not to use my brain and just write the things that's in the goddamn academics curriculum book. I really gave my own opinions when it was asked. That the question was, what do you think about this? What are the possible solutions about it? What is your opinion on this? I really gave it, and maybe it was right as well. But I got zero in all those questions where I gave my own opinions. I just have earned my marks in MCQs, and all subjective questions are mostly crossed. That's not a good thing. You should respect it. But I understand them. It's not their fault, to be honest, because they can't judge someone's opinions, because how would they grade it? How would they declare a topper a winner in the competition which is not worth competing? Though, but still, how would they declare the winner if everybody starts to write their own opinions? What's the correct opinion is what's in a common book. So the correct opinion they want to force it on us is what's in the curriculum book. And if I write my own opinion, how would they grade it? So to teach me this lesson, which isn't worth teaching, because in real life, you aren't gonna get some good opinions which will be correct. You should form your own opinions, but at the end, let's continue.
Circumstances, but facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity. As Seneca, one of the most famous Roman Stoics, wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." But while Stoicism focuses on personal improvement,
I also focus on that.
It's not a self-centered philosophy.
Okay.
At a time when Roman laws considered slaves as property, Seneca called for their humane treatment and stressed that we all share the same fundamental humanity. Nor does Stoicism encourage passivity. The idea is that only people who have cultivated virtue and self-control in themselves can bring positive change in others.
True.
One of the most famous Stoic
so.
writers was also one of Rome's greatest emperors. Over the course of his 19-year reign, Stoicism gave Marcus Aurelius the resolve to lead the empire through 2 major wars while dealing with the loss of many of his children. Centuries later, Marcus's journals would guide and comfort Nelson Mandela through his 27-year imprisonment during his struggle for racial equality in South Africa. After his release and eventual victory, Mandela stressed peace and reconciliation, believing that while the injustices of the past couldn't be changed, his people could confront them in the present and seek to build a better, more just future. Stoicism was an active school of philosophy for several centuries in Greece and Rome. As a formal institution, it faded away.
So maybe Stoicism is just being a naturalist. I mean, not being an extremist, as Buddha even said, don't be an extremist. Neither too happy nor too sad. So maybe that's Stoicism, that pulling you down in your highs and boosting you up in your lows.
But its
and
influence
having a common point of thing to fall back on
has continued to this day. Christian theologians such as Thomas Aquinas have admired and adopted its focus on the virtues, and there are parallels between Stoic ataraxia, or tranquility of mind, and the Buddhist concept of nirvana. One particularly influential Stoic was the philosopher Epictetus, who wrote that suffering stems not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them.
Oh yeah, I even read about it that we shouldn't actually let our opinions or like our experiences define ourselves, because our because our experiences are just are judged by our emotions, and our emotional intelligence isn't that improved. So maybe you can take up a wrong perspective of an event and take up wrong decisions from your experience of that event, because everything at the end of the day is just your perspective about things. So maybe you can't trust every bit of knowledge because it could be false. You can't trust your own experiences. What to fall back on? That's something confusing. I even don't know that.
This has resonated strongly with modern psychology and the self-help movement. For example, rational emotive behavioral therapy focuses on changing the self-defeating attitudes people form about their life circumstances.
That's self-help. That's self-help. I think I know about what's being talked about. I can relate.
There's also Viktor Frankl's logotherapy. Informed by Frankl's own time as a concentration camp
Okay.
prisoner, logotherapy is based on the Stoic principle that we can harness our willpower to fill our lives with meaning, even in the bleakest situations.
Hmm. Damn. Who I am. Who am I? I'm gonna watch all these videos. But guys, we talked today about pollution, why you should actually read philosophy, and all about that, guys. So I think that's it for today, guys, and let's meet you tomorrow on the next stream. Until then, goodbye, guys. And now I'm gonna sleep.